Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back in another video, and today I'm going to be talking about something a little different. For anyone who hasn't seen it, go see it. Link in the description box. Um, this has been a show. This has been a not show. It's a film project that that's been going on since a few years ago with the Robot Underdog. For anyone who doesn't know, YouTube channel have released Light of Hope. It is a short film. It is basically Dragon Ball Z, Light of Hope, and it is about it's about Trunks from the future. You know, it takes place in that whole arc. They basically take the history of the Trunks special, and they're basically taking it and turning it into a live action film. Now, a few years ago, they did a pilot episode, which I'll give you the link for that as well. This is about back in 2015, which was very well done. And this led to them wanting to do a sequel of that pilot episode, and they got enough funding from supporters of the Dragon Ball Z community that wanted to donate. So that finally has come out after 3 years. It has finally come out as of 2 days ago. And I was very excited when I found out the news that Dragon Ball Z Light of Hope was out, because I did like this and I was looking forward to whenever this was coming out. This was about this film was a 35-minute film from the sequel of the events of the pilot. And they differentiate them, but they put them both together, Chapter 1, Chapter 2. And I believe they're going to have a third chapter as well, because they introduced... I remember a while back them doing an interview where they introduced the older future Trunks actor. So I believe they're doing one more film for Dragon Ball Z Light of Hope. I would recommend that they do more, or at least I'm hoping they'll do more, because at the end of their credits they did say that they are looking to do more films. But I honestly think they should stick with Dragon Ball Z, and maybe even do more other specials of the anime adaptation in the future. But I'm very happy, and I was very excited, and it did not disappoint. I really enjoyed the live action film they did. It was just like the pilot. The pilot was really good, but you could tell they went even beyond more than they did in the pilot. And a lot of the fight scenes were very well done, and they put a lot of effort into really making it look like a Dragon Ball Z field, like this whole Dragon Ball Z type world that you don't get with Evolution. And it's close as we'll probably ever get to an actual Dragon Ball Z legitimate live action film, and these guys did a really good job with it. So I'm gonna get into what happened, and like some of the stuff, and go over what happened. So again, like I said, this review, if you guys have not seen Light of Hope, please go watch it before watching this video. Go watch it, go enjoy it, go rock on the dragon and watch this stuff, and go check it out. I want to have a big thank you to all these the actors. I'm kind of looking down at the list right now of the actors that are playing it, so I don't screw something up here. Ken, Future Gohan, Tyler as Android 17, Amy as Android 18, Jack as Kid Future Trunks, I guess we can call him. Yeah, we don't want to get him mixed up. I'm not sure how to say this. Ruthen, name for the person who played Bulma. How to say her name? I apologize. Caitlin as Dawn. Lily as Mai, and then there's also credits for the voice cast of Future Trunks on here, which I imagine he's going to be put this project together because this is just awesome. It was awesome. Everything was well done. I'm not going to get into everyone over here because they got a bunch of names here. But thank you all that did this. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys do more Dragon Ball Z in the future because you guys really hit it out of the park with this. So with that being said, let's get into this review. So like I said, if you have not seen, and I have to say that very, very discreetly, because if you have not seen this film, you need to go see this film right now. So click that YouTube link in the description box and go watch it. And if you haven't watched the pilot episode, if you don't even know what I'm talking about right now, I'll have the link in the description box for the pilot episode too. Go watch the pilot episode. Go watch this if you haven't, for whatever reason, not watched the pilot episode by now. Go watch that. It's just awesome. So, okay. So, here we go. So, they do chapter 1. And like I said, they specifically identify what is chapter 1 and what is chapter 2. Honestly, I don't know why they do that, because they make it a full film anyways. I think they should have just combined it as one film, rather than differentiate it, because they put it on one video anyways. But they decided to actually tell you when chapter 1 was and when chapter 2 was in this one film, so you'll know the difference. It starts off with we have Trunks is helping refugees. They did narrations too, but you have Trunks, helping out refugees, and he has them in this house, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna keep you, everything's gonna be fine," and whatnot. There, you know what I mean? Keeping everyone safe. And then Android 17 is just kind of playing around there. He's just playing around. He's just like walking. You know what I mean there? And then he does boo. And, you see Trunks, or Trunks is trying to, get, you see him trying to, she has a girl on his back or something, and Android 17 blows up the house, and Trunks does survive this, because he's a superhuman being, so he survives this, but no one else does. And so, he's less knocked out. But before we get to that, because they do explain how this happened, and they go to the early day, early in the day type thing. and then you see, because this basically the beginning of the beginning of the episode was essentially future events. It was like, so now we're back to, what happened and what led up to this, to the explosion of the house. And we then see Trunks and Gohan training, and Gohan is telling him what he has to do and what he needs to do to become a Super Saiyan, and what loved ones to rage and stuff like that, and he basically trying to get him to go Super Saiyan through the rage and fuel of losing people. The problem is Future Trunks hasn't lost anybody close to him, as Gohan references, and this leads to him not being able to do this. So he fails to become a Super Saiyan, so Future Trunks is obviously pissed, and he just flies away, basically, from Gohan. And says, I rather go out fighting. I rather go out fighting, than do nothing. This leads to the next thing that happens is Gohan is, in the Capsule Corp, talking with Bulma, and they talk about the time caps, the time machine that she's making, that she says only people with our gravity, your gravity type of gravity can go in it, so you'll have to go in and she's like, even Trunks can go into it, and Trunks ends up going into it, as we all know. But one of the things that I thought was noticeable was that they kind of put the whole heart virus on the androids, like Gohan, because as we all know, Goku, future Goku dies in the before the battle because he gets a heart virus. Now, there was never any specifics on how he actually got a heart virus. It was just that he got it naturally, or at least that's what was implied. Now, in Light of Hope, they decided to kind of twist it a little bit, and kind of try to say that it was more of a, that there's an actual academic of a heart virus going around, like Goku's, and that's, killing people too, even though 17 and 18 are killing people anyways at this point. So that was a little kind of interesting, like a little kind of twist that they decided to put in there, to how, Bulma is trying to figure out how to get this antidote to Goku. When they do go to the future, or when, she plans on them going to the future. So there are a couple things like this. Eventually, Bulma thought Trunks was with Gohan, or that's what, Bulma was told by Trunks, which was a lie, and Gohan, thought, he wanted blow off some steam, so Trunks was alone, obviously, at this point, and this is what led to the beginning of the episode, where he was in the safe house trying to keep people safe, and the house gets blown up, and Future Trunks survives. Everyone else is dead. He's got blood on him now, and the androids are ready to just basically kill Future Trunks, and that's when that's when Gohan comes out of nowhere in Super Saiyan form, and saves Trunks and gets out of there. And 18, she tells Trunks, or not Trunks, she tells you know, 17 got away, and then like obviously Android 17 is not happy about this. He throws a fit, that he missed an opportunity to get after Gohan. So he actually punches something heavy and knocks it out and whatnot. So that was the end of the first chapter, by the way, of Light of Hope. So move to the second chapter. We got Android 17, who's just pissed, and 18 is like, just tells him, you're just mad about the you got away, and so this doesn't make 17 any happier. He's just pissed because he couldn't take him out, and he's like, we're gonna take him out. Eventually the androids, when they get into their whole little mood, they talk about some stuff about is, well, he's in the water healing chamber. Very interesting that they went into that approach, by the way, because that kind of phased out after the Frieza saga. But a lot of good things in here. You get Bulma, who's just like, I knew this was going to happen. Why, you can't even protect yourself, and, he says, the only reason why I let you train Trunks. Gohan eventually says, don't worry, I won't let anything happen to Trunks. And, they, Gohan gives Bulma a hug. And, it was really interesting. But I thought it was really interesting about the whole, like I said, with the water healing chamber, I'm not sure if Korin's still alive or whatever, confirmed in the future if he died, though. So there should be like Senso Beam still around there. So while this is going on, the androids, they're still sulking about, that, 17's mad about, missing out on Gohan. This is a future timeline. So, anyways, they talk about, Android 17 is like, did you ever wonder, robots, basically, if the humans could do it, figure out to create us, why can't we create more of us? Which that probably 17's gonna like that game. Eventually they get back to the topic of Gohan, because Gohan is become like a point of emphasis, because he's distracting them from their fun, because he's the strongest, hero in the in this timeline right now. So basically 18 comes up with the idea to basically, because Gohan flew from this direction, so they decide, well, if they're flying through this direction, let's just keep shooting this way until Gohan comes out. And so that's what they do. They keep shooting ki blasts and energy blasts until Gohan comes out. And so this forces Gohan to come out. He's powered up into Super Saiyan, and he's ready to fight. And it's some amazing fight scenes. Android 18 and Gohan are fighting one-on-one. And Gohan gets a surprise on him, and Android 17 is even like, doesn't look like it. He's like quiet. He's gotten stronger since the last time we met. They highly implied that Gohan was stronger, one-on-one. Like, that was the one thing that I noticed, was that they made it look like Gohan could possibly beat these androids if he fought them one-on-one. Like, if he fought 17 one-on-one, if he fought 18 one-on-one, he could win. but if he fought them both at once, he couldn't. And that's what they basically showed. A little different from the special, because obviously that's not how it happens in the special at all. Future Gohan is completely outclassed by both androids 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, but in here they had, I guess what I thought it was actually a good idea, actually, in hindsight. They made it look like the hero could possibly, win against the android if it was 1-on-1. And that's what they made it look like. Gohan was looking pretty good against Android 18, and then Android 17 stepped in and was like, let's attack them together. And so they start attacking them together, and that's when Gohan starts struggling. Still great fight scenes. Eventually this gets to the part where 17 is like pulling on or holding Gohan's hand and eventually rips it out. And they have this amazing effect, with Gohan. He's, one arm, kind of like, when his arm was broken when he was fighting Cell, in the anime, and they kind of got this little arm thing, shooting the Kamehameha, with one arm. He's trying to shoot it at 17, but then 18 and 17 are shooting him together. And ultimately, Gohan, it's too much. He tries his best to keep, fighting, but, he just can't. And he dies, standing up. His eyes are just, all bold black, and he dies. And after that, you see later on Trunks getting out of that healing water chamber thing. And, he eventually goes to where Gohan is. And, he sees Gohan, his master, dead, and that powers him up to Super Saiyan. And it looks epic and awesome. And that's how the episode or the chapter ends. So it's to be continued for the final, chapter 3. It is a noticeable difference because obviously in the anime, like I said, Future Trunks is with Gohan and wants to go into the battle, and Gohan tells him, yeah, and then right behind his back he knocks him out and then goes in the battle. And here Gohan or Future Trunks was already Trunks was already knocked out because of the androids, and Gohan went in alone. So they kind of did it a little different, but nothing really bad changes. I thought the change was okay. Yeah, it was. I like the film. I don't exactly know when Chapter 3 is coming out. I know they did the production for Chapter 3 the same time they did 1 and 2, so that will eventually come out. I don't know when, but I would have to imagine it would have to be early next year, because I can't, because they had to have done the production at the same time, because they introduced the older Future Trunks actor, in one of the interviews. I remember watching that interview a long time ago. So they already had production for that in the works. So I have to imagine they were doing them all at the same time, and they just decided to only release the first 2 episodes and have the third episode be its own thing. So it might be a little longer, actually, than the first 2 chapters. Not counting the pilot episode. Pilot episode 2, I guess. I mean, technically speaking, the pilot should be chapter 1, but they didn't go with that. So, even though Light of Hope is already 2, so I mean, yeah. 2 thumbs up. It was a great film. I enjoyed it. And like I said, there are a few changes that they did. Like I said, they made it seem Gohan could possibly beat the androids 1-on-1. When he couldn't in the regular anime. They went with the anime approach, not the manga special, because the manga Future Trunks special and the anime special are 2 different. Trunks in the manga already achieved Super Saiyan, where in the anime he doesn't achieve it until after Gohan dies. So there is a little difference. They went with the anime approach, which I think was honestly the better direction, anyways, because I think that's better. I think him getting it after his master died was better. Was a better way of doing it overall. I always liked that dramaticness to it than have him having it already. So I'm glad they went with that approach. So yeah, it was a very good web show. Very good web show. Or not web show. A very good. Well, I guess it is a web show though. It's a film. It's a short film for a web show, I guess, something like that. You all figure it out. Yes, I was very happy. Like I said, there were some changes they did, but I don't think it hurt the overall product. It was very good. The fight scenes were awesome. They had some really good fight scenes going on. And like I said at the earlier of this film, if you still chose to watch this, even after not seeing this, I highly recommend still watching it. But like I said, very good. Very good. Very good series. I'm looking forward to the third chapter of Dragon Ball Z Light of Hope. I'm hoping that they do more Dragon Ball Z. Maybe expand on Light of Hope. Maybe do some of the main series stuff, or even try to, go, further with Light of Hope. Maybe do when Trunks comes back from from the present day. He comes back to reface the androids. Where he's now more powerful than the androids and easily defeats them, and it leads to him fighting Cell. I'd love to see them, do, Robot Underdog do, kind of expand on this Light of Hope a little bit more. I really like what they're doing. And maybe 20th Century Fox can actually learn something, by watching this, fan-made film, because this was probably the best we're ever going to get for a live-action Dragon Ball Z show, which is sad, but I'm happy that at least somebody is doing it. Even though it's a fan film and not official, I really like what these guys did, because you can tell that these guys are actual Dragon Ball Z fans. You can tell that they actually know what's going on. And I've seen some of the interviews, from the actors that they picked, and these guys are really, for the most part, most of them are, legitimate Dragon Ball Z fans. I know the Android 17 actor is definitely a Dragon Ball Z fan. I seen his, coincidentally, 17 is his favorite character too. I did notice that too. So it just even made it more special for him. But like I said, at the end of this film, they did do credits, about their Patreon and about other live short films that they would like to do in the future. Like I said, I would highly recommend you guys stick with Dragon Ball Z. You guys are doing really good with it. I would like to see more spin-offs to Dragon Ball Z if that's possible. Whether, you do Light of Hope, expansion, or do some of the main series stuff. I would really like to see more of that. I would like to see more of that action. Dragon Ball Z action. 2 thumbs up for this Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I'm looking forward to the Chapter 3, Light of Hope. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What you thought of the of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 and the pilot if you haven't seen it. I didn't talk about the pilot, but I would, if you haven't seen the pilot, I would go check it out, because the pilot was really good too. But yeah, thank you from the people from Robot Underdogs for putting this film together. I know it was a long process. Took 3 years. But I'm very happy that you guys did this. If you like this video or any of my other videos, please comment, rate, and like. If you like this video, please like. If you like this video or my other videos, please subscribe. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace.